Alright folks, I've got a Howard Miller battery operated clock. That was an award clock for somebody, so it means something to them. And we got to change out the quartz movement. It's another one of the 2115s or 2114s that are just kind of junk. But I wanted to show you how this worked and what needs to be done to get the movement out. The face and this bezel ring right here is attached to the clock itself, so you can't just pull it off, open it up and change the time or anything. It's all sealed, and it's being held on by just 3 clips. So let me turn this thing around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I've got it turned around, and like I said, it's one of these 2115s. I don't like them. We've had nothing but problems with them. I don't know if they still make them or not. But anyway, there's a clip. There's another clip. And a third clip. You need to take them off very carefully, because all they're doing is holding on a little plastic stub. You don't want to break that. If you do, you can always glue the bezel down, but it's best not to. The way we do them is we kind of get them wiggled out of shape, and then we take one of these paint can, whatever they're called, and just reach underneath there and pry it up just gently, and they'll come up. So let me get them off and I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, so I got them off, and now we'll set this back up and pull the bezel off. All right, so right now the bezel is just going to come right out of there. It's better with 2 hands, but I got to hold the camera. So, all right, so that's it. There's the little stubs on there. Just be real careful with them, and you should be fine. So now I'm going to get the hands off, and then we'll be able to take the movement out. All right, so the way these come off, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. There is actually a nut right here that's holding the minute hand down. And once we take it off, and sometimes if it's a little tight, you can remove it with a pair of pliers, just gently, so you don't scratch anything. And then the hand just comes off, and then the hour hand comes off. And now we'll turn it over and pull the movement out. We have to remove the speaker as well, and I'll show you how to do that. There's a speaker, and it is held down by just the 2 screws. Already got one out on one side. So basically, once you get them off, this little piece will come out, and it just holds it down. I don't know. I think our new speakers are a little bit bigger. We'll look and see. I don't know how it's going to hold down, but I'll take a look once I get this guy out. So remove the batteries, and behind the batteries, you got 2 screws. One right there and one right there. And that's what's going to hold this movement down. So let me get them off, and then we'll get the other movement. All right, the movement's out. Sitting right there. And it is getting ready to go in the garbage. So I need to go pull another one of the harmonic movements out, and we'll get that installed. All right, so I got the new harmonic movement. This one always comes with you can do it pendulum or non-pendulum. If you do non-pendulum, there's a little lock to it. But basically what we're going to do is set him in here. I got to make sure I'm going to have the clearance on the glass dome and the hands. I'll look at that in a second. And then you've got 2 screw holes under the battery. Tie them in. Take the speaker, and it locks in place like so. And then I'll put the speaker back in that place, and it does look like this will hold it down, so we should be good. So let me get that done, and I'll get back with y'all. All right, so I went ahead and just dry fitted. I hadn't screwed it down. The problem you have, these shafts only come 1 length, and you can see the difference in these shaft lengths. This one's the one that came out originally is a lot smaller. So I went ahead and stuck the movement in its place and just held it there. And then I lifted it up and put the dome back on, and it's looking to see make sure there's some clearance between the tip end here, and the edge of the dome. And it seems to be plenty of space. Once I get it in, the next thing you got to make sure you do is make sure the hands on the face, this is the dome, this is the inside. So you want to make sure that the minute hand is not rubbing on any of the glass. If it is, that will stop the clock. So let me get this tied down, and we're going to see if that thing's going to fit. Here is the way these also come is they either, you can use them with a pendulum or a non-pendulum. So if you wanted to use it with a pendulum, you just bring that guy down. If you don't want to, there's a little lock right here on the end. Kind of hard to, let's see, there's a little piece of plastic and then a stub sticking here. So basically what you're going to do is just lock it in place, and you don't need a pendulum anymore. A lot of times there's a lot of modifications that you might have to make. They're usually just little small ones. These two inside holes were the originals, and my speaker on here is a little bit bigger in diameter than the old one. So I just drilled a couple new little holes in there to hold that down, and we should be fine. Also, the screws that hold the movement down weren't quite long enough, so I had to get new ones just out of my junk drawer. But when I'm putting them in, I always keep my hand, if I'm screwing in on this side, keep your hand here feeling around. You don't want that screw coming through the wood and start coming through the face. These faces are very thin. Another thing you want to make sure that you do is when you mount the movement is to make sure that you get the movement as close to the center of the hole as you can. You don't want it dragging or touching. And other than that, that should take care of it. So let me get it all put back together, and then we'll go from there. All right, it's complete. Everything's ready to go. We'll watch it for a day or so, and then the customer will come pick it up. If you want to hear what these movements sound like, you have to look at one of our other videos. It shows you the different features and stuff, but they sound like a tubular bell. They're absolutely beautiful. Better than anything that's out there. These, we get them at a pretty good deal. We buy, well, I don't know how many hundreds we buy every year, but they have Christmas songs, classical songs, and then your traditional Westminster. But check out the other video. I'll put a link down below on where the movements are, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks.